Hello, and welcome to the Bad Humanist Thoughts on War Mode. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about my thoughts about the changes to the PvP system, the changes to the PvP server system, and the introduction of War Mode. So in the recent beta build, we got a first look at War Mode, our PvP talents. We have an idea of how it's going to function, and I want to give my thoughts. Now, I'm going to preface this with this. I am not a huge PvPer. I have PvP'd in the past. I have arenaed in the past. I am not great at it. I am mediocre at best. I played originally on a PvE RP server. I currently play on Proudmoore in the US, which is a PvE server. So again, I am not a big PvPer, but it's something that I've always dabbled in, right? Every expansion that I've played, I've dabbled in PvP a little bit. I do enjoy it. I think it is a very interesting and fun alternate gameplay. I have had times when I've loved and times when I've hated, but again, I've been primarily a PvE player. So again, these thoughts are coming from that of a PvE player who dabbles their feet every once in a while into PvP. So the changes are this. They're basically, instead of having PvP shards and servers that are PvP, all servers are going to be either basically, RP really or not, right? The RP servers are the ones that are not getting changed. Everything else, PvP, PvP, basically the same. The difference is going to be you have the option to go to your capital city and turn on War Mode. When you do, that will enable World PvP and activates the PvP talents in the outdoor world. Here are our PvP talents. I'll be talking about these here quickly in a second, not specifically, but in general. We do know you get a 15% experience bonus for leveling when this is turned on. And so the idea is that you'll level faster, because it's going to maybe take you a bit longer because you might die, right? For PvP on, we all know you can get killed in the open world, and so the idea is that it's going to be a balance there. Now, the other benefit, which I think is very important, is the including of these PvP talents. So you get more talents when you're leveling. That's cool. That's fun. So here are my general thoughts. I think it's great. From me, a PvEer, being able to experience world PvP like I was on a PvP server with the ability to turn it off is great. I also think that the ability now to have more servers open, if someone wants to be a PvE player, but yet they want to go to a high pop server for their faction, they can do so even if that faction used to be PvP. I know, for example, when we were moving from Argent Dawn, our little tiny dead RP PvE server, to our server now Proudmoore, we were looking for a server that was in a certain kind of time zone and such. And one of the biggest issues was finding both a PvE and the time zone we were kind of looking for that had a decent population on it. So now that other servers will be available to us because they're no longer truly PvP anymore, but again, you always have that option, is great. So those of you who want to group together in PvP, those of you who do not, you have that option on any server. I think that's amazing and wonderful. It should allow people to go to higher pop servers and find the kind of population they want. If your friends are on a PvP server and you just hated that idea, now you can join them and not worry about it. You can just turn War Mode off. So I think that's absolutely great. Now, here's the other thing. As a PvEer, I'm probably going to level this on. I'm not going to lie to you. I think it's going to be interesting. I think it's going to be fun. I should note that I'm probably going to be leveling a probably Disc Priest first. So again, we'll have to see how that goes as far as being able to stay alive. But I think that in general, that the extra experience bonus plus the ability to simply just pick 3 more talents is great. Again, your top talent is simply just your CC removal row here. So again, you can just pick one of those. But again, you get all these talents, and these are kind of like actual talents, right? These are actual things. And as we saw before, some PvP talents were actually like better than actual like normal PvE talents in a lot of ways, and more interesting, more fun, more gameplay changing, right? So the fact that you get to pick 3 of these, any 3 you want, right? I mean, here's Death from Above, which again used to be a cooldown obviously before, right? You can take these things and just play with them, right? You can just pick any 3 you want, right? And there you go. And you can mess around with these. You can change them around. If you find out that one isn't working, you can go back and, of course, change it, right? You have to be in a rest area to change, but you get the point. So, yeah, you get more talent, so you get more engaging gameplay out in the world. You get increased experience bonus. You're going to level faster, which who wouldn't want that? But there's one other important thing that I want to bring up. And again, this is not an original thing. I definitely something that I heard of from other people, but I completely agree with them on. And that is the way that leveling is working. If I open up our maps here, if you're Horde, you're going to be on Zandalar. And you're going to be leveling here, for the most part, by yourself. If you're Alliance, you're going to be leveling here on Kulturis. Again, for the most part, by yourself. The other faction doesn't get the ability to go here until they hit max level, until they hit 120 and maybe a little bit below 120, but until they basically establish their war campaign, you're going to basically be on this island by yourself. So you're not going to really have, especially if you're leveling early in the expansion, you're not going to really have that everybody's in the same zone, you're going to get killed all the time, right? I don't think it's going to be as bad as people might think. Plus, again, especially like for the Horde here, a good part of your leveling is very close to the major capital city, right? You're going to be protected by the fact that the majority of people here are going to be Horde, right? An Alliance person might try to come to kill you, but again, it's a very high risk to them. So again, I don't think you're going to really be seeing that until more people get to that high level, right? Until you get more people at 120. So again, I think it's not going to be as bad as people think, and that increased experience bonus plus the free talents, I think it's worth it in a lot of ways. Secondly, we can't forget about zone scaling. With zone scaling, you're not going to have the case of a 110 fighting a 120. You will be scaled to an even level, and again, there's been evidence and proof of this already tested on the beta. So you can be a 110 and possibly kill a 120. Because of zone scaling. So again, if you group together, as we all know, you get leveled to a kind of even group. If you enter into a certain dungeon, it will kind of change the scaling of the dungeon and such, which again is one of the greatest features ever added to WoW. So again, it's going to be more of a level playing field than you might imagine. If you are an amazing PvP player, which again, I am not, but if you are, and you are a lower level, it's going to be possible for you to beat higher level players. That was never the case before. Even if you were 2 or 3 levels above, you had such an advantage in power, health pool, those kind of things, that it was impossible. So again, it's going to even the playing field. Even when you do have those encounters later in the leveling process, I don't think it's going to be as bad as you think. And again, if it comes to the point where like, screw it, I hate this, guess what? You can turn it off. Just go back to Orgrimmar, go back to Stormwind, turn it off. You don't have to worry about it. So again, I think that flexibility is great. And again, I think I'm actually going to, for the first time ever, level in PvP. I think the bonuses are worth it. I think that the introduction of the extra talents is going to add another extra fun layer to gameplay. It can make, again, we all know how boring doing world quests were, and we know world quests are coming back. Think about doing world quests with extra talents. I mean, it's going to be a thing where you're used to a certain talent set, and you might actually be like, wow, I can't wait to go back to the open world to get these talents back. I don't know. Maybe that might not be the case, but it's a possibility, right? It's possible that these talents can be so engaging that it makes the open world kind of fun again and keeps that part of the game live. So again, I really do think this is a good change. It's a change that I'm definitely looking forward to. I'm looking forward to leveling in war mode. And again, have a group of people level together all in war mode, right? And again, you can kind of help protect each other. Kind of that could be a lot of fun. And again, I have found that every once in a while, some random open world PvP is fun, is engaging. Again, I'm sure there's still gonna be problems. I'm sure there's people who don't like it. That's perfectly fine. You don't have to like it, right? You don't have to agree with me because again, you can just turn it off. So again, I think that is absolutely great. I'm interested to see the statistics of how many people on different servers turn it on. I'm sure Blizzard will be tracking that. So I'm looking forward to knowing, on a historical PvE, what percent of the population is turning war mode on, right? On the PvP servers, how many are? Because I guarantee it won't be 100, right? So again, I think that the flexibility, the thing where like, I really hate PvP, but all my friends are on a PvP server, that's okay. You can now basically be in a PvE server and be on the same server in the same guild as your friends. I think that's absolutely great, absolutely amazing. Again, the PvP talents currently look really, really cool. Again, I'm sure they'll be better for some classes than for others. Again, I'm sure they can be balanced, but yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to this change. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Do you like the change? Do you not like the change? Are you going to level in war mode? Are you not going to level in war mode? Again, I'm interested to see what people actually think about this. I hope you enjoyed this. And again, I will see you in the next one.